today's topic for coffee conversations is all on moving beyond Reiki, and I'm super excited about the juiciness of this call. So jumping in, so moving beyond Reiki, and well, I think for me, moving beyond Reiki is going like industry-wide, what's working, what's not working. Because if we really want to bring it to a place where Reiki is integrated in the healthcare system, in our different industries, if it's more accessible, more mainstream, more all of the things where we're envisioning like 100 years from now, where it's like it's fully integrated, the world is healed, and in the significant process of healing. Not only do we need to break any generational trauma chains and really do that self-healing work, because I feel like it always comes back to the individual. Like we have to heal ourselves first, and then really bring in these beautiful tools and techniques to help support and facilitate masterful sessions with others. And so Isabel and I have been really in like download process the last month, 2 months. What does that mean? I would love you, Izzy, to explain how the process works for you. I'll explain it for me, and how what kind of golden nuggets we're getting right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure you guys are all super familiar with the term downloading and getting information. Maybe you channel, maybe you just go really deep in your meditations, maybe you are a shamanic practitioner, all of these different ways that we have of really receiving that wisdom, receiving new information, and understanding how these ideas that still are existing in the energetic realm are ready to be brought into the physical realm through us. And so you get those ideas and those downloads, and 90% of the time they happen at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to sleep, because that is that's when your ego turns off and you're open to receiving. So like Christine said, for the past month or two, and I would say particularly the past 2 weeks for me, have just been jam-packed with nightly conversations. So for me, downloads come in. I'm a very energetic person. My brain thinks in energy, I can feel energy, I can see energy. And so for me, downloads come in. The best way I can think to describe it, my favorite analogy, is it's almost like a radio. Like the radio waves are always in the air, but you can't hear the sound of the radio until it's translated through the actual mechanism of a radio. So for me, it's like I can feel the energy, and then I translate it to figure out what is it that's I'm receiving to be brought forward, and what's the next step. And so Christine and I started this conversation, I would say maybe a month and a half ago, when we found out that March 2022 was the 100th anniversary of Reiki. And we sat down and we were just talking about where Reiki has brought us in our lives and where our Reiki journeys have taken us, and the things that we've learned and we've experienced on our own through our own evolution, even outside of our traditional Reiki training. And obviously Reiki Cafe is founded on this idea of mixing modalities and expanding and exploring beyond tradition, right? Like, I mean, Christine, you're huge into throwing out the rule book and ditching the guru paradigm and all of these things, and coming into that idea of finding yourself. And for me, I'm big into finding what I call the truth of who you are, the truth of the capital T, coming back to that understanding of your innate nature and your divine nature as a spiritual being having a human experience. And so we started talking about all of these things, and it's been a month and a half of realizing that we have spent 100 years basking in this really beautiful Reiki energy and being blessed with the gifts and techniques and trainings and traditions that have brought us to where we are today. And that energetic door is starting to come to a close, and a new one is starting to open. And we are so excited to be getting the information that's going to open that next door.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it feels like not necessarily a door is closing, but it's just like getting pushed wider open. Like it's letting more light through. And, you know, some of the things about the current Reiki industry that kind of, I don't want to say upsets me, but like it's all of these limiting beliefs around Reiki as a career, Reiki as a profession. And many of you know, I really love to support Reiki practitioners build their career in Reiki and really step away from the 9-to-5 job so that they can be full-time support their clients. And we've been given this structure of like, the way you can make money in Reiki is a 60-minute session and teaching classes. And I think there was a lot of wiggle room in that. And I think that is why I love to mix modalities, because I feel like the Reiki itself is empowering, impactful, and transformative. And it can be so much more holding space for the individual if it was brought into a longer container than 60 minutes. What if it was 3 months or 6 months, or, you know, something else where it's like you're giving these really amazing action catalysts, those tastes of, these are some action steps that you can take in between our sessions, that we're looking beyond what intuitively comes up in the session, what we are feeling like. There's this spiritual information, and then it balances out with like, okay, how do we integrate into 3D reality? How can we actually live life and support our clients to take that session and move it forward into daily lifestyle, to daily action steps? And that's where I really love to play, because there's transformation in that, like deeper transformation, long lasting transformation. Like you take these steps, like, and I think it comes from, you know, I have been doing 7-month courses for over a year now. So it was back in the start of 2021 when we launched our first 7-month program, and it was the Chakra Clairvoyant Coaching. And with the Chakra Clairvoyant Coaching, we had this really backbone of the chakras, of understanding the chakras, understanding where your chakras are, understanding how to interpret and understand and analyze the chakras of your clients. And then also the clairvoyancy, like how do you listen in, and deeply intuitive nature of what that, of hearing and listening and incorporating that information into your sessions. And then the coaching, like really getting to the limiting beliefs, the limiting decisions, the old traumas, the childhood wounds, like all of that, and really go, how can we incorporate this into our sessions so that we're doing deeper work, so that the Reiki has longer lasting effects, so that there is this, so that someone can go through a process of transformation that has, you know, it will last not only 3 months from now, but 6 months from now, and 2 years from now, and 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, like, versus constantly slipping back to your triggers, constantly slipping back to old patterns, constantly slipping back to the limiting beliefs that have held us strong, and really disintegrating that so that you can fully embody who you are and listen to your divine innate wisdom of going, heck yeah, I'm worthy of love. Heck yeah, I'm worthy to live my life out as a Reiki practitioner, or whatever it may be, like really living your internal truth and not letting anyone else's opinion stop you. Right. And so that 7-month program was what really kind of launched ReikiCafe University into a new like phase of our development. And we did that course twice in 2021. And then come 2022, we were like, oh my gosh, this is becoming a beast, meaning that we had shamanic Reiki practitioner training and the coaching training together. And we were like, there's just too much information. This could be a year-long program. Let's split them up. And so we now have launched in January of 2022 our shamanic Reiki practitioner training, and really feeling into the next phase of the coaching for ReikiCafe University. So I want Isabel to kind of take what I just said and really feel into this information of like, okay, I see where they're going.
I am just so incredibly excited by this, because like Christine said, we have been given this really beautiful framework in the Reiki industry right now of what it means to be a Reiki practitioner, and even what it means to be a Reiki client. We know how the sessions flow. We know how to work with the energy. We've been taught what it means to fully embody that energy. And we know that sessions can be powerful. We know that there is energetic healing to be done on our path to healing, on our journey. There is that energetic component. But we also know, I think every person would say that, Reiki got them to where they are. Reiki changed my life. Reiki called me. I didn't choose Reiki. Reiki chose me, right? This is like a common theme throughout all of Reiki practitioners, and even just people who are interested in Reiki, is there's this strong energetic pull to connect with the energy. And when you look at it, it's because we are Reiki. We are that energy. Our essential nature is that Reiki divine energy that flows in and through all things. And we're all connected by it and we all stand in it. But the thing is that a lot of times what I see in the Reiki industry is that we stop there. We see our energy, we connect with the energy of Reiki, and we forget that we have this other side of us. We have this human aspect of our experience. And so often, even in the spiritual community at large, there's almost a divide. It's almost like, yes, you are human, but how can you transcend that? How can you escape your limiting beliefs? How can you pull out of your traumas? How can you heal completely so that you can be this perfect, ideal prototype of a spiritual master or a guru, or this idea that we all have of what it means to be fully healed? And a lot of times we've been trained to think that healing, that image will be attained by completely clearing our energy. And so there's this focus on energy and focus on spirituality and focus on this more divine, expanded nature of our being, while we forget that we are human. And that is just as much an important part of our being as the Reiki and as the energy that we are. And so that's where the coaching comes in. And that's why our chakra clairvoyance coaching was so amazing, because it was the first time that we started seeing that energetic component of the chakras, of intuition, of shamanic Reiki. We started seeing those pieces come together, and we found that bridge where you could bridge the gap between divine and human, energetic and physical. We found that meeting point, and in that we started to see our students and their clients had these amazing transformations and these amazing energetic experiences, because instead of focusing on one side or another, we were bringing them together. We were integrating the practice so that we were looking at people in both an energetic and a physical way. We were seeing them as their true nature in a divine sovereign being having a physical human experience. But then when we took the shamanic training and the coaching training and we had them together, we realized that they're different energies. They are ready to be separated. Like you said, it became this like beast of a program that we then separated out. And as we were feeling into what's next for chakra clairvoyance coaching, because we know that this is valuable, we know that this is something that is bringing such deep transformation, both for our students and their businesses and the success that they're seeing and abundance that they're bringing in by bridging that gap, by being that connection between their spiritual and their human, by fully embodying both sides of the equation, and then showing up for their clients in that way and giving their client sessions that met them where they are, both human and spiritual. It really integrating that mind, body, spirit theory of healing. We knew that it was so powerful. And so we were looking at this chakra clairvoyance coaching, and we were looking at the Reiki industry, and we realized that there was a gap there that didn't need to be there. There was this integration that was ready to happen. We have so beautifully, as a whole, as a community, we've cultivated Reiki to be what it is for the past 100 years. We've cultivated chakras and our understanding of them, and we've spent time feeling into them and analyzing them and understanding how each one is a gateway to a different aspect of our healing. And we've spent beautiful amounts of time cultivating these coaching techniques and figuring out how can we guide our clients to their own transformation, to their own healing. How can we hold that space in a clear way? And so we have these really beautifully cultivated ideas of energy and physical experiences brought together through the chakras, but no one was looking at it that way. No one was bringing those together. And so for the past month, we've been gifted with the opportunity to bridge that gap, to become the first people in the spiritual community to say, look at these things that we've been keeping separate. What would happen if we put them together? What happens if we fully acknowledge energy, spirituality, humanity, divinity, all of the things, our physical existence and our spiritual existence. What happens if we acknowledge all of these tools and techniques that we have on both sides and brought them together? And so that is where Reiki Cafe is going next. We are going to bridge that gap. We are going to look at how can we bring Reiki and coaching together. And it's this really beautiful analogy almost of Reiki is the energetic side. Reiki is that energetic blueprint, the divine spiritual nature. And coaching is that physical human side. It is in this 3D reality. It's looking at our experiences as a human. And together they're bridged by the chakras, because the chakras are the place where the spiritual becomes the physical and vice versa. And so we see this really beautiful integration, and we can start to map them out, and we can start to bring them together through the chakras, looking at each area of our healing from the lens of each one, seeing the different areas on both the energetic and the physical side, so that not only are we walking that path of remembering the truth of who we are and remembering our essential nature and our healed nature as divine beings having a human experience, but we're also learning how to facilitate that remembering for our clients, how to bring them together so that it's not this disparate way of trying to heal one part or another, but we're integrating, we're remembering. And instead of this focus on releasing and letting go, it's a focus on coming together, of integrating everything, Reiki and coaching brought together through the lens of the chakras.
So goosebumps. Mainly, I think for me, it's like years ago, like probably 2-3 years ago, I had this vision of a title of a book, and it was Reiki Coaching. And I'm like, where's that going to come in? Like, I don't even know where that's coming in. And just having those downloads even back then of like the little tiny hints. Who has little tiny hints of information that's like, yes. And so when this started coming together of going, oh, chakra clairvoyant coaching, like a lot of the Reiki industry doesn't even understand quite what coaching is yet. And we recognize that, right? And so we want to really help the Reiki industry understand that these two do come beautifully together, that these two are, that we don't need to have a fancy title, that having Reiki coaching can be just that. It's the integration of Reiki healing, healing attunements, of really energizing the coaching techniques with Reiki. As you speak to someone and do these coaching techniques, you're offering Reiki, you're offering the Reiki symbols, you're doing meditations on the Reiki symbols with your clients. And it feels very evolved, not better, not higher vibration, different. So that if you are aligned, if you're aligned for this, if you are feeling called to learning this, then you're in the right place. Like, I really feel like I always know, like, and I tend to sleep on things. But I know, oh yeah, that is the right way to go. I need to move this direction. Like, this is calling me. And so with Reiki coaching, you're going to get like it feels like a very full Reiki training in a very new and different way, where there isn't a hierarchy anymore. There isn't a Reiki level 1 and level 2 and a master's. And I think for years, this is another kind of like, I really wanted to bust out of that hierarchy of like, things need to be stuck in these like boxes. And because there is a 7-month container, they're more blended. Like, you are doing the self-healing piece, which would be in traditional Reiki, like Reiki level 1. And then there's this, we're blending it. We're learning how to support, we're offering Reiki and the way we coach and how we do things. And that's very much what you would see as Reiki level 2. But when we take away the like firm boundaries and have it be fluid and flowing, we're moving into something different. And I love it. I love it, because, you know, there isn't this hard box anymore. And I feel like I have been a circle trying to fit into a square peg hole forever. And this is where where there is that that roundness, that full circle. There's this, it doesn't need to look like it's looked in the past.
Yeah.
And if you do it the way we've done it in the past, it's not saying that you're wrong or it's bad. Like, love it, keep doing it, and know that there's just a new, different way, not a better way, just a different way. And it's really to support clients beyond a one-time 60-minute section. It moves beyond the very small box window that we've been given of how the Reiki industry should look. And that when we move into Reiki coaching, it can be where you're developing your own 3, 5, 6-month programs to support individuals versus this one and done deal or a 5-time package. And so it's very juicy. It's very flexible, and it's very much coming back to becoming a masterful practitioner rather than a master. And there's so much, it feels, once again, like it feels very boxed in, that term master. And I've always kind of been, I mean, you may have noticed over the years, I stopped using that term. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm a shamanic Reiki practitioner. I'm a Reiki coach. I'm a chakra clairvoyant coach. But I really, part of that term master really kind of, I think, undermines what we're doing, because people are putting us on a pedestal. That term master has been really negatively used in the US due to slavery. And why do we not have a diverse population in Reiki? I get curious, like, is this part of it? Is the term turning off the diversity that we could see in the Reiki industry? So there's a lot of like, I want to move away from and move into more openness, more expansion, more exploratory areas, and see where it leads.
Yeah. And I think that word expansion has just been lighting me up recently. And I think it's almost the hallmark of what we're doing at Reiki Cafe, because even if you look at just energy, whether you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective or a scientific perspective, energy expands. That is the essential nature. It is the innate ability of the universe, is to continue to expand and evolve and grow. That's how we got to where we are today, both as a universe, as an energy, as a community, as a person, is evolving, that evolution and expansion. And so in that, we're looking at, we have these tools, we have these experiences and these knowings and all of this wisdom that we've been given from the past. And we're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to evolve. We're going to bring all of that forward with us, because it is so important to acknowledge the beauty and wisdom of the teachings of the past, while also remembering our innate nature of expansion, of evolution, our connection to the divine, in that it is time for us to move forward. Just like a ladder, you have to take the next step. And so that's where we've gotten to, is we're expanding into the next step. We're not leaving this behind and creating a new paradigm. It's bringing everything forward. It's that integration of where we've been and where we're going, and finding that pathway. And I think in that, it goes back to that, I don't think there's a single person here who doesn't resonate with the phrase, Reiki found me. I was called to Reiki. Reiki has changed my life. There is this innate knowing in nature that Reiki is part of us, that we are meant to be here, and that this path is going to continue to unfold. And this is just the next unfolding of that path. And it's the next understanding that in that evolution, in that expansion, in that unique experience as your point of consciousness, your point of energy, as you being a spiritual being, having a human experience, you are unique. Your journey is unique. Your needs are unique. And we've been trying, like you said, to fit circular pegs into square boxes, because we're trying to make a one-size-fits-all approach to healing. And that's not how it works. That's not why we're here. We're here to expand and evolve and change and experience and integrate and all of these things. And so that's what we're doing. That's the next step. It's the next era of healing, if you will. We're stepping from this 100-year anniversary, and we're bringing it forward into the next 100 years, and looking at how can we take these tools, how can we take these techniques How can we take these frameworks that we've been given and continue to evolve them, continue to integrate them to something that meets us where we are, to something that allows us to be that fluid, that allows us to be that expanding, evolving being of consciousness, and that meets us where we are on all levels? How can we integrate them? And so I think that's where we're really going. And we haven't officially said it, so I'm excited to be the first one to say, but this is all to say that Reiki Cafe is stepping into the next era of healing with our new program, Reiki Coaching. And it's going to be a 7-month program that ties together all of the things that we've talked about on today's call. It ties together Reiki, and it brings forward the teachings from the past 100 years and integrates it with new information that we've been receiving and downloading and been gifted with for the past month and a half. This new framework for Reiki healing that allows for that fluidity, that allows for that expansion, that meets you where you are and expands you in your own truth. And then it's going to be combined with coaching, with these techniques that bring it all together, that allow us to hold space for our clients, not just in an energetic way, but in a physical way, that allows us to meet them and their humanness and their minds and their lives and their 3D reality, and bring them together through the lens of the chakras, using that wisdom that we've gathered for thousands of years, understanding what each chakra means, how it relates to your healing, how it relates to your energy, how it relates to your body, bringing it all together in this 7-month container so that you do truly walk the path of remembering your truth. You walk that path of healing and remembering that healing means coming back into connection with the truth of who you are. And as you walk that path, you'll learn what it means to live that integrated experience, to be both at the same time, and how to hold space for your clients to do the same, how to hold space for that transformation, to facilitate that transformation, that remembering, that path, your unique, fluid, evolving, expanding, integrating path, every step of the way for both yourself and your clients.
I'm so excited. And I think one of the highlights I really want to bring out from what Isabel just said is that, this is about a personal evolution expansion process. And so this isn't a cookie cutter process. This isn't, we're trying to make you mini me's or mini Izzy's. This is about you honoring who you are and listening to your intuition and evolving in your own practice and integrating all of the tools that you have learned in the past. So like if you are a meditation teacher or a yoga teacher or whatever it is, you can integrate that with Reiki coaching. And so it's very much like, it is the epitome of ditching the guru. There isn't anyone better than you. You are the masterful practitioner guru within, and we're just helping you shine and bring that out, right? And so I am super excited to be joining with Izzy and doing this program. So it has all of the components of what the chakra clairvoyant coaching certification was in the past. So the chakra healing is the backbone. The coaching techniques are potent. We have many testimonials from our coaching clients, our coaching students who have just had phenomenal transformations, business expansion, all of those things. And now we're bringing in this gift of Reiki on top of it to really integrate it fully. So super excited to be offering this. And really, it comes down to one of our standard practices within Reiki Cafe University when it comes to our longer term programs is that we need to learn, embody, and facilitate. What does that mean? So yes, you are learning this new information, you're learning the technique, you're learning the new meditations and how to incorporate it in within. So you learn it and then you embody it. You have to embody the practice. You have to do the internal work. You have to be ready to face your fears. You have to look at the shadows. You have to integrate all of that fully with the techniques that we're supporting you with what you're learning. And then you move into facilitation. And I think this is one of my favorite calls to offer is the facilitation calls, because you're learning the information, you're doing the work. You can tell you're doing the work because there's resistancy and there's moving through it. And there's a bit of struggle. And so this is not a Band-Aid process. This is like going deep. And then the facilitation is really like No, we're going to take the techniques and we're going to practice on one another. You're going to have student coaches practicing with student coaches. You're going to see demonstrations and then go practice, and more demonstrations and go practice. And all of that helps you build your confidence so that you can turn around and go do it. So there is facilitation requirements. You have to have so many facilitations with other students. So whether that's on the call or separately, there's going to be facilitation requirements for other people outside of Reiki Cafe University, other students or non-students of Reiki Cafe, co-students that you'll be expected to practice on to graduate with the certification. And it's all to help you become a masterful practitioner, facilitator of these modalities so that you can feel really comfortable and confident moving forward with this, and having the support to develop your own flow with it. And I love that we really hold space for that. I don't know how many different coaching certifications and Reiki trainings where there isn't that like accountability to go, did you go try that out and do you need feedback? Have you tried this technique? And then you learn it, and then you're off into the world, and then there's the nervousness that, oh, I don't know if I can do that, or oh, what if I'm just, I feel like I have imposter syndrome, like I'm not good enough yet, but then you can never get out there. And so we're having the container to get over all of those fears and to really hold space for you as you shift into facilitator. And I think that is one of the most beautiful pieces of our programs, and especially with Reiki coaching, because you'll feel confident leaving. And that's why we need 7 months. We need the full 7 months. I mean, if you would have asked me to like a month and a half ago, when we first started like getting the pieces of how is this container going to look, I'm like, oh, it's going to be 5.5 months. It'll be fine. And then as he kept getting more and more information, I was like, all right, 7 it is. And we've done a 7-month program before, and it is a beautiful, beautiful container. It does take commitment, but there's also this flexibility. There's this like, this is what you need to do to really have all of the pieces. So the expectations are really cleared out on like how many calls you should be expecting each week. There's really clear expectations of roughly how many hours you're doing each week. Like it really is only 3 or 4 hours a week, but it's consistent, and there is a little wiggle room. So like if you need to go, if you're planning a vacation, you can do 6 hours this week, you can take a break off and go on vacation. Maybe you listen to a couple meditations or two, so you don't lose all of those beautiful skills that you've developed, and like keep that neurological brain working in the light of this, and then come back and like pick right up where you left off. So there is flexibility, and there is this like holding accountability so that you are actually completing the program, being able to be certified, and moving forward with your own Reiki coaching career ahead of you.
Yeah. And one thing I want to emphasize that you said at the very beginning is that this is very much, it's a come as you are course, because we're a come as you are community. We're not here for specific modalities. We're not here for specific Reiki lineages. We're not here for your guru or your, like all of these things, these boxes that we have tried to put ourselves in so that we can feel valid, so that we can feel confident. We don't need those. We're here to see you as you are, whether you are a meditation instructor or a preschool teacher, or you've been doing Reiki for 20 years, or this is your very first day. We want you as you are, because you are a beautiful, wonderful, divine being having a human experience. And no matter where you are on your journey, this course will welcome you. So it doesn't matter if you've had Reiki experience in the past or you're brand new. We want you who are dedicated to your spiritual journey, to your healing, to understanding and diving deeper and finding that truth, expanding beyond, stepping into the next era of healing, whatever that looks like for you. And so it is this really beautiful come as you are container that is tailored to meet you where you are truly. And so when you come in, you have this 7 months so that we can get to know you, so that you can get to know you, you can heal, you can go within, you can break down those barriers, you can release what's been holding you back, you can come into your truth. And then you learn how to stand up and be that person, to stand in your truth for others, to embody all that you've learned, so that when you've walked that path of embodying and truly standing up in your truth, standing up in your confidence, being empowered to be who you are, not because someone else did something that looks similar, but because you are you and you have value, and you're learning to stand in that and be confident in that. Then you learn how to help your clients have that same empowerment, have that same confidence, have those same experiences. And so it's this container that takes you through all levels of healing, all experiences. It's the next evolution on the journey. And this isn't something to say that we're throwing out everything from the past or something that we want everyone to do. This is something that if this is your next step, you'll know. You'll know if this is meant for you. I'm sure there are people watching right now who are sitting there going, oh, this is for me, because you have that knowing, just the same way that Reiki found you in the beginning. If this course is meant for you, you're going to know, because it's going to be your next step. It's going to resonate. And if you're excited to be in this program, if you're excited to dedicate to your healing, if you're excited to be met where you are, then we are so incredibly excited to be working with you and to offer you this discount of more than 25% for this week only, as gratitude for being here, as an acknowledgement that we see you and we know you and we're ready to work with you. And so the program will begin. Our welcome ceremony will be on 4/22/22 because we love the energetic portals. So we will be having our opening ceremony on April 22nd. We're excited to work with you.
The only thing I really do want to add is I want to tell you an experience that I had with Izzy the other day. I want you to see the actual tangibility of what Reiki coaching is. And so I had a migraine for 4 days. I was giving myself Reiki. I had Reiki students giving me Reiki. And these are Reiki masters from, all over the world, have been in my courses for a long time. And this migraine is not letting up. And I had a lot of energy stuck up here, and part of that was from getting all of these downloads and it just not fully grounding into me. It's just kind of gets bottlenecked right here. And I recognize that that is an issue, but it didn't matter how much medication I took. It didn't matter how much Reiki I gave myself or received from others, even though all of it helped kind of not let it get worse. That's what it felt like. Like, okay, I don't feel as much pain. I feel a little better, but it's not ending. And it's been 3 days. It's got to go. So I jumped on a call with Izzy, and she was like, do you want to do a Soul Speak session? And Soul Speak is one of our coaching modalities in the program. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And it's basically, this is what it is. It's recognizing your mind voice versus your soul voice, your inner voice. And it's a guided container so that you can tune in and turn off the logical mental mind and really talk to your inner truth, your inner voice, your soul. And as we did this process, there was a lot of energy, there was a lot of tears, and ultimately who wanted to show up to speak was my inner child. And because we learn in the coaching programs that we teach here at ReikiCafe University, Isabel knew really where to go to guide the inner child as well. So she had the tools of both of these modalities that are offered in our coaching programs. And she was like, okay, let's talk to the inner child. And so I was able to find childhood wounds I didn't even know I had. Like oftentimes we know what our triggers are, we know what this stuff is. And I'm like, that came out of total left field. I had no idea that was being stored in my body. And it was feeling very stored in my body. I had jaw surgery when I was in 18, and the pain had moved from my migraine side. Like usually this is where I have my migraines, and it went right over to my jaw, and all of the tangled upness around childhood wounds, around being a burden on others, whether it was from medical conditions I had or something else. There was very much a huge release. And so wipe my tears, get on another call. We finished up that session. breathed into it. And within a matter of less than an hour, migraine completely gone. Now, this was 3 days ago, still gone, didn't do anything different, and it's gone. And so this is really going, where is the trauma stored in the body? Where is the healing really need to occur? What layers need to be revealed so that that pattern can no longer be present?
But I do want to say that I just am so grateful and honored that that experience was so tangible and poignant for you. And I think that is, again, another big takeaway for me from all of this is just this sense of awe at how connected we are, at how powerful we are, not from an egoic perspective, but because we are all connected, because we are all one, because we are that divine being having a human experience, and the ability and opportunity to be able to see that transformation both in myself and in someone that I'm facilitating for is something that it never ceases to amaze me. And it brings a new meaning to that idea of sacred space. And that's really what I think we're trying to create in this program, is this sacred space where you can come as you are, you can heal, you can feel, and you can reveal your truth. Oh, I like that. Heal, feel, and reveal. I might have to use that, but it is. And I'm so incredibly grateful.
On the landing page for the Reiki, become a Reiki coach, you'll notice that this is an application process. We want to know your background and make sure that this is a good fit for you with where you're at in your life, that you can make the time commitments, that we understand your schedule, that we understand your background. That might not be required for current students in ReikiCafe University because we already know you. We know what
yeah,
your
you could just shoot us a message.
just let us know. There is a link to jump on a connect call with me. So if you want to have a conversation to answer any of your questions, I would love to have that application first. So then I can already be privy to a lot of the information. And then we will let you know how to get started. And if it really feels like this is a good fit, we have a limited space because this isn't your typical like online course. This is not a Udemy course. This is a pretty involved course with both Izzy and my time. And we want to generously give it for those who can make the commitments. Please definitely reach out. Even if you're on the fence and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to be able to pay for that. If you feel the calling, I want to hear from you. I don't care if you don't know how.
We will meet you where you are because this is a come as you are program. So if you are interested in any capacity, if you have questions, if you're ready to fill out the application, by all means, go fill it out. We want to hear from you. We want to know your story. We want to know where you are and make sure that this program is going to support you. But if you have questions, if you aren't sure how you're going to pay for it, if you're not sure about the 7 months, whatever it is, if you feel any inkling of a call, send us a message because we want to meet you where you are.
Yeah. And so know that payment plans are definitely a thing in ReikiCafe University, that it can be a very extended payment plan. It doesn't have to be even within the 7 months, but we want to meet you where you're at.
Thank you for sharing in these energies. Thank you for listening to our ideas, for welcoming in this new era of Reiki healing. If you're excited to work with us, we're excited to work with you. And even if not, we are just so grateful to be able to walk into the next era of healing with you as a community, bringing in this energy together and seeing what comes next for the next 100 years. So thank you all so much for being here, sending you so much love and light. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful week, and all of the things. And please, please, please shoot me a message, whether it's for a question or just to start up a conversation. I would love to connect with you guys.